Hiya Dave, they've just landed, mate. So this is your new bores. If you look here around the top, they've got like a bit that's wider. So Eddie will bore your bores out and then bore a slight bit wider at the top. So these beauties, these are a tough bit of kit. Let me just nip over to a block, mate, that we've done earlier and I'll show you how good he is. That's one that is done. That's an ABL that has the same problem as yours. It's gone over size of anything piston wise. So this is what we do, mate. And he does a good old job. And it's also got that cross hatching in, mate, all the way down. A little bit of overspray there, but we clean them up again after we get them painted, after we nice them up. But can you see that beautiful crosshatch, mate? That's what yours will have on it. So all these little scratches here that we put in on purpose with that Raybrook machine are there to let oil hide in them. So your piston rings are always floating on a bed of oil, your pistons and your piston rings. Once that's gone, that's when your engine's wearing out, mate. But that's a lot of mileage and a lot of neglect away. So what we've been showing you there in this video is the sort of work that we carry out on these engines. A little bit of background into this engine. The guy who owns this van that this engine came out of bought a T4 1.9 ABL engine off us about 5.5 years ago. He ran it, he sang our praises, he sold the van to his friend's still driving around in it now, running beautiful. He bought this t5.1. This is the caab type engine. There's a couple of different variations of the codes and slight variations of the engine casting and block and cylinder head, but they are roughly the same engine. Now the thing is, people are saying, you know, the EGR cooler is leaking metal particles into the cylinders. Yeah, most likely, maybe so. It's wearing out the cylinders, but we've found on a lot of these, even the ones without that suspicious part number, that they are worn out on the cylinder bores. So my feelings on this is that basically the stuff that the cylinder block is made out of, that your pistons and rings run on, is not strong enough to stand the test of time. It's just wearing out, and you're getting a large wear lip around the top of the cylinders where the piston rings run. So our fix for this is those ductile iron liners that you see us pressing into the block. They're a top hat, so they just can't slip either way. Once they've gone in, we leave them about 5 to 10 thou proud, and then we machine them flat on our IP330. So this engine, he originally had it with the problem of using oil that everybody says, well, VW says normal. Okay, 1,000 mile a litre of oil. Expensive running that at the price of oil nowadays. And then he's had it in for a timing belt change, and the belt has failed for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure. Then he brought it to us and he said, do you do these engines? And we said, yes, most definitely. We do understand them. And this is about maybe about the 22nd or 3rd engine that we've built of this type. And we suggested doing these sort of upgrades and repairs to it. Now, another thing that concerns me is, this is one of the big end conrod bearings out of this engine. And they've got a nice green polymer coating on them. The problem with that is that it's plastic and it wears through, and can you see where it's wearing through to the copper further down? So what we actually do is we put white metal bearings in these, proper crankshaft bearings, not the polymer coated ones, the proper heavy duty bearings. So that's another upgrade. Also, because his belt had gone out at that point, we felt that his cams would be twisted. So he's had 2 brand new camshafts, 16 brand new followers, 16 brand new lifters, 16 valve guides because they was worn, and 16 valves, 8 exhaust, 8 inlet, because the truth of the matter is that the valves wear on these guys as well. And also that starts letting oil down. When the valve's waggling about, it wears the stem seal out and you start getting oil down into the exhaust system, oil into the intake system. That's another place where it will deplete your oil from your sump. Another thing that's pretty worrying is we don't like the DPF systems on these vans, the regens. We feel that if your DPF is blocked, it can be doing too many regens. And those things now, people are starting to say, only have a certain lifespan, and then they should be replaced. So that's another worrying thing. But this engine is now done, ready to go back to the customer. The garage is going to fit it. We're supplying it with gaskets and other bits and pieces. They're getting their own timing belt. We are a bit worried about the quality of timing belts nowadays, and also the origin of them, and especially the origin of the timing belt tensioner that will most likely have failed on this engine and threw the belt off. So it's a bit of a sad state of affairs, but this guy absolutely loves his van. We can understand that. They're a nice machine. They do drive well with this new 2-litre engine in. This isn't the only one that we do. This is the large single turbo. We've done the bi-turbo ones and seen them with the same problems. It's just basically across the board with them. So, as I say, I'm going back to the thoughts of the cast of the cylinder block is not strong enough. It's not durable enough to do its job. And putting those ductile iron liners in basically future-proofs these engines.